Libra, they are going to chase you now, and they are deeply regretting how they hurt you in the past. But here is the twist they aren't expecting. They aren't just coming back to apologize, they are coming back completely obsessed, realizing they made a massive, life-altering mistake by letting you walk away. The energy has completely flipped, and the silence is about to break. Before we dive into this intense August love energy and reveal exactly how they are going to confess, let me know where you're watching from in the comments, and hit that like and subscribe button to claim this beautiful reconciliation. Trust your intuition, because this message found you for a reason. Let's get into it, Libra. This reading already feels incredibly intense, and I need you to just take a deep breath before we go any further, because the energy surrounding you right now is thick. It is heavy. It is vibrating with a level of unspoken tension that you have probably been feeling in your body for weeks, maybe even months. You know that feeling when you just know someone is thinking about you, that sudden warmth in your chest, or that random wave of emotion that hits you out of nowhere when you're just going about your day. Maybe when you're driving or trying to fall asleep. That is not your imagination. That is not just your own longing projecting outward. That is them. That is their energy reaching out to yours because they literally cannot contain it anymore. Something has been building quietly behind the scenes, and the universe is finally forcing this person to look at the mess they made. What I'm picking up on is that this person has been playing a very dangerous game with their own heart. And now, the bill has come due. On the surface, they may have acted detached. They may have given you this cold, avoidant, almost arrogant energy when things got too real between you. They pulled away, they created distance, and they made you feel like you were the one who cared too much. But here is where the energy shifts, because beneath that facade of indifference, they are absolutely losing their mind. They are obsessing over you. They are checking your social media. They are looking at your stories. They are analyzing every single move you make, and they are trying to figure out how you seem so completely unbothered when they are internally falling apart. They thought that by creating silence, they would gain control. They thought that by walking away or pulling back, you would chase them, you would beg, and you would validate their ego. But you didn't. And that is exactly what is driving them crazy right now. You see, as a Libra, you have this beautiful natural ability to see the highest potential in people. You are the peacemaker, the balancer, the one who gives grace, who offers second chances, and who tries to understand everyone's perspective. You saw their wounds, you saw their fears, and instead of running, you tried to create a safe space for them to heal. But here is the tragic irony of this connection. They took your grace for granted. They mistook your patience for weakness. They thought that because you loved them deeply and authentically, you would always be there, waiting in the wings, no matter how poorly they treated you. They used your consistent, loving energy as a safety net while they went off exploring their own ego, their own options, or their own unresolved baggage. They hurt you in the past because they were terrified of the depth of what you two shared. Your love was a mirror, and it forced them to look at their own insecurities, their own emotional immaturity, and their own unhealed trauma. Instead of doing the work, they chose to break the mirror. They chose to hurt you. Yet, beneath this facade of their past avoidance, a massive realization is currently crashing over them. The question is, what happens when the avoidant person finally realizes they've lost the one person who truly saw them? The illusion of their freedom has shattered. They are sitting in the quiet of their own space, and the distractions they used to numb the pain, the friends, the hobbies, the superficial flings, the busy work are no longer working. The ghost of your memory is haunting them. They are remembering the way you looked at them, the way you made them feel safe, the way you understood them without them having to explain themselves, and the regret is eating them alive. It is a physical ache in their chest. They are replaying every argument, every moment they chose their pride over your heart, and they are kicking themselves. They are realizing that they didn't just lose a partner, they lost their soul tie, they lost their peace. And this is where the karmic wheel starts to turn, because the universe does not let us escape the pain we cause to others, especially when it's someone who loved us purely. They are feeling the energetic backlash of their own actions. For some of you, this person has been experiencing a series of blocked paths in their life. Everything else feels chaotic, frustrating, and misaligned, and they are intuitively knowing that it's because they disconnected from your energy. You were their grounding force, you were their anchor. And without you, they are drifting. They are feeling a profound sense of emptiness that they cannot fill with anything or anyone else. They are comparing everyone to you, and everyone is coming up short. No one laughs the way you laugh. No one understands them the way you do. No one makes them feel the way you made them feel. They are trapped in a prison of their own making, and the key to getting out is you. But they know they messed up. They know they hurt you, and the fear of facing you, of admitting that they were wrong, of swallowing their massive pride and confessing their regret, is keeping them paralyzed. But the pressure is building. The spiritual timing is aligning for August, and the dam is about to break. They cannot hold it in much longer. The obsession is turning into action, and the regret is turning into a desperate need to make things right. Let's go deeper into what is actually happening inside this person's mind, because the contrast between how they are acting and what they are feeling is staggering. What I'm picking up on right now is a profound sense of cognitive dissonance. On the outside, they are trying to maintain this image of someone who has moved on, someone who is fine, someone who made the logical or safe choice by stepping back from the intensity of your connection. But the universe does not lie, and the energy I am tapping into tells a completely different story. Late at night, when the world is quiet and the distractions fade away, that is when you invade their thoughts. It's not a gentle reminiscing, it is a full-blown consuming fixation. They are replaying conversations you had months ago, analyzing the tone of your voice, the look in your eyes, searching for the exact moment they lost the plot. They are torturing themselves with the what-ifs. Here's the thing about Libra energy: you are naturally magnetic. You carry a grace, warmth, and a sense of aesthetic and emotional harmony that is incredibly rare. When you love someone, you don't just love them, you elevate them. You make them feel like the best version of themselves, and this person knows that. They know that what they had with you was not ordinary. They know that the way you balanced their chaos with your calm was a gift they will never find replicated in anyone else. That is why they cannot let go. You didn't just occupy space in their life. You became the standard by which they measure every other interaction. And right now, every other interaction is failing miserably. But there is a specific trigger that has recently shifted this from passive regret into active, burning jealousy. For some of you, this person recently caught a glimpse of you thriving. Maybe they saw a post, maybe they heard through the grapevine, or maybe they just sensed a shift in your energetic frequency. They saw you glowing. They saw you laughing, looking beautiful. And most importantly, they saw you completely unbothered by their absence. And let me tell you, that shattered their ego into a million pieces. They fully expected you to be sitting at home, waiting for them to come back around, mourning the loss of the connection. The idea that you might be healing, that you might be opening your heart to new possibilities, or that you are simply choosing yourself over their toxicity, is a pill they are choking on. This is the emotional turn they did not see coming. They thought they held all the cards. They thought that by withdrawing their attention, they would make you desperate for it. But instead, your withdrawal became your greatest power. When you stopped chasing, when you stopped trying to fix them or understand their avoidant games, you inadvertently held up a mirror to their own emotional immaturity. And now, they are looking at that reflection, and they hate what they see. The jealousy they are feeling is not just about you potentially being with someone else. It is a deep primal fear that they have permanently lost their place in your life. They are realizing that your love, while deep and unconditional, was not a doormat. You have boundaries, and they are the ones who pushed you right up against them. The internal war they are fighting right now is brutal. On one side, you have their pride, their fear of vulnerability, and the karmic baggage they have been carrying from past wounds. This is the part of them that says, if I reach out, I have to admit I was wrong. I have to admit I messed up. I have to face the disappointment in their eyes. That ego is a heavy, suffocating blanket. But on the other side, you have this overwhelming, undeniable pull toward you. It's a spiritual tether that they cannot cut. No matter how hard they try to rationalize it. They try to convince themselves that the distance is for the best, that you two were too much for each other, or that the timing was just wrong. But the soul knows the truth, and the soul is screaming at them to fix this. What I'm seeing here is the bargaining stage of their grief. They are mentally drafting messages to you that they will never send. They are practicing what they would say if you suddenly walked through the door. They are bargaining with the universe, promising that if they just get one more chance, they will do it differently this time. They will communicate better. They will show up. They will choose you. But here is the harsh spiritual reality they are being forced to confront. Words are no longer enough. The universe is demanding action, and it is demanding accountability. They cannot just apologize their way back into your life without doing the actual inner work. And this brings us to a crucial realization about you, Libra. You may have spent a lot of time wondering if you were too much, if you asked for too much, or if you were the problem in this dynamic. Let me be absolutely clear, you were not. You were asking for the bare minimum of respect, consistency, and emotional honesty. The fact that they could not provide that is a reflection of their own internal landscape, not your worth. You awakened a desire in them to be better, but they were too afraid to do the work. Now, they are watching you become the person they were too scared to help you become. You are stepping into your power, and that power is terrifying to someone who is used to keeping you small. The tension is palpable. The old cycle of them pulling away and you chasing is dead. It has been buried. What is growing in its place is something entirely new, something they are not fully prepared for. They are about to realize that the only way to get you back is to completely surrender their ego and meet you on your level. But what exactly triggered this massive shift? What was the final straw that broke their resolve and forced them to look at the truth? Let's talk about the exact moment everything changed. Because there is always a catalyst. There is always a specific point in time when the illusion of control completely shatters, and the person who thought they were playing it safe suddenly realizes they are standing on the edge of a cliff. For some of you, this turning point happened recently. It might have been a specific conversation, a moment of profound silence, or the day you finally stopped initiating. You stopped checking inches, you stopped trying to decode their mixed signals. You stopped pouring your beautiful, harmonious Libra energy into a cup that had a hole in the bottom. And when you finally pulled your energy back to protect your own peace, it sent a shockwave straight through their system. Here's the thing about avoidant or emotionally guarded people. They rely on your consistency to feel secure, even while they are actively pushing you away. They expect you to be the constant. They expect that no matter how cold they get, you will eventually warm them up again. But you didn't. You chose yourself. And to them, that didn't feel like a boundary. It felt like an earthquake. It felt like the ground falling out from under them. At first, they tried to brush it off. They told themselves they're just giving me space. They'll be back in a few days. They used that narrative to soothe their ego. But then days turned into weeks. The silence stretched out, and it stopped feeling like peace and started feeling like a punishment. The panic set inches. What I'm picking up on is a very specific tower moment for this person. In tarot, the tower represents a sudden, unavoidable revelation that destroys a false foundation. For them, this wasn't necessarily a dramatic, screaming argument. It was an internal collapse. It was the moment they looked around at their life and realized that without your light, everything else felt dull, meaningless, and chaotic. They may have tried to distract themselves. This person may have thrown themselves into work, or tried to engage with someone new, or surrounded themselves with loud friends to drown out the quiet. But every single attempt to replace you backfired spectacularly. The new person didn't understand their jokes. The work felt empty. The friend's advice felt hollow. The contrast was too sharp. Every distraction only served to highlight exactly what they had lost. And then, the universe literally had to intervene. Because when human ego is this stubborn, the divine has to step in and blow the whistle. For some of you, this person has been bombarded with synchronicities that they cannot ignore. They are seeing your name everywhere. They are hearing your song playing in random places, a coffee shop, car, store. They are waking up at 3:33 or seeing 11:11 on the clock, and their intuition is screaming at them that this is a sign. The universe is relentlessly reminding them of the soul contract they are trying to run away from. They are trying to rationalize it as coincidence, but deep down in the quiet chambers of their heart, they know it's a message. They know the universe is telling them to wake up before it's too late. The emotional turn here is profound, because this is where their regret transforms from a passive ache into an active, burning desperation. They are no longer just missing you. They are actively mourning the future they threw away. They are looking at the timeline of your relationship, and they are pinpointing the exact moments where their fear made them sabotage your connection. They are replaying the times you asked for reassurance, and they gave you silence. They are remembering the times you offered a bridge and they burned it, and the weight of that karma is crushing them. You see, Libra, you are the sign of balance and justice. When someone disrupts the balance with you, the universe eventually restores it, but the person who caused the disruption has to pay the toll. They are paying that toll right now in the currency of their own peace of mind. It feels like they have been walking through a thick fog for months, making decisions based on fear and pride. But suddenly, the fog lifted. They got a moment of absolute terrifying clarity. They realized that their pride was protecting a hollow shell, and you were the only real, authentic thing they had in their life. They realized that by trying to protect themselves from getting hurt, they ended up inflicting the deepest wound on themselves, the loss of you. This clarity is not a gentle realization, it is a violent awakening. It's the kind of truth that keeps you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., heart pounding, knowing you have to make a change or you will lose your soul. The old cycle is officially dead. The dynamic where they could take your love for granted, test your boundaries, and retreat into their shell without consequence is over. You have evolved, you have raised your vibration. You are no longer willing to accept breadcrumbs when you deserve a feast, and they can feel that shift in the ether. They can feel that the version of you that would tolerate their games is gone. That person no longer exists. So now they are standing at a crossroads, and the pressure is immense. They know that if they want to step back into your life, they cannot come back with the same old excuses. They cannot come back with a casual, "Hey, what's up?" text, hoping you'll just pick up right where you left off. That door is closed. They know that to earn their way back into your heart, they have to bring something entirely new to the table: accountability, vulnerability, and a genuine, unwavering commitment to change. But here is the complication, the friction that is currently holding them back from making that move. Let's get into exactly what is happening inside their heart right now. Because the feelings they are harboring for you have evolved from a quiet, nagging regret into an absolute, undeniable obsession. What I'm picking up on is that this is no longer just about missing you. This is a full-blown spiritual awakening for them. They are feeling you in their bones. When they wake up in the morning, you are the first thought that floods their mind. And when they close their eyes at night, you are the last image they see. It feels like their chest is physically tight, like there is a heavy weight sitting right over their heart, and they finally realize that the only way to lift it is to come back to you. Here's the thing about this person. They are currently battling a massive internal confession that is desperate to get out. They are literally rehearsing what they are going to say to you. They are looking in the mirror, practicing the words, "I was wrong. I was scared. I let my ego and my past trauma dictate my actions, and I hurt the best thing that ever happened to me." They know they owe you an apology, but more than that, they know they owe you the truth. The truth about why they really pulled away. The truth about how terrified they were by the depth of their feelings for you. Because with you, Libra, they couldn't hide. You saw right through their masks, right through their carefully constructed walls, and that level of raw, unfiltered intimacy terrified their avoidant side. But now, that same intimacy is the only thing they crave. For some of you, this person is experiencing a profound shift in their spiritual timing, heavily influenced by this August energy. The universe is applying immense divine pressure to them. They are seeing synchronicities that they absolutely cannot brush off as coincidences. They are seeing 1111 when they think of you. They are seeing 222, the number of partnerships and soul ties, flashing on their phone screen, on license plates, on receipts. The universe is literally screaming at them that this connection is divinely orchestrated. They are feeling a karmic mandate to make things right. It feels like if they don't reach out to you, if they don't fix this, their life is going to remain stuck in the stagnant, painful loop. The spiritual pressure is so thick you could cut it with a knife. But here comes the emotional turn. The moment where their fear of losing you finally overrides their fear of vulnerability. They are suddenly struck by a terrifying realization: you are actually moving on. They are sensing your energy shifting further and further away from them. They can feel that the energetic cord between you is fraying, not because you don't love them, but because you are finally choosing your own peace over their chaos. And that realization sends them into a state of absolute panic. The thought of you giving your beautiful, harmonious, loving energy to someone else, someone who won't take it for granted. Someone who will show up for you the way they failed to, makes them physically sick. The jealousy we talked about earlier is now morphing into a desperate, clawing need to secure their place in your life before the window of opportunity closes completely. This is where the true healing begins for them, because they are finally dropping the act. They are done pretending they don't care. They are done playing the cool, detached game. The ego has been completely shattered, and what is left is just their raw, unfiltered soul, reaching out for its counterpart. They are realizing that you are their ultimate karmic mirror. You showed them what healthy, balanced, unconditional love looks like, and by walking away from it, they showed themselves what it feels like to live in total imbalance. As a Libra, you represent harmony, and they are currently living in absolute discord. They cannot stand the dissonance anymore. They want the music back. They want the rhythm back. They want you back. The emotional turn here is beautiful because they are no longer looking at you as just a romantic interest. They are looking at you as their life partner, their twin flame, their ultimate equal. They are thinking about the future they could have had with you. They are imagining the milestones, the quiet mornings, the deep conversations, the way you would support each other's dreams. They are grieving the loss of that future, and that grief is acting as a catalyst for action. They are telling themselves, I cannot let this be the end of our story. I refuse to let my pride be the reason we don't get our happily ever after. They are gathering every ounce of courage they have to step into the arena and face you. They know you are going to be guarded. They know you are going to protect your heart, and they completely respect that. In fact, they want you to be guarded because it proves that you have self-respect. They are preparing themselves to be vulnerable, to stand before you without any defenses, and to lay their cards on the table. They want to offer you a real commitment, not just empty promises. They want to show you through consistent, undeniable action that they have done the inner work, that they have faced their shadows, and that they are finally ready to be the partner you deserve. But just as they are finally ready to step forward, just as they are about to break the silence and make their grand confession, there is a complication. There is an outside energy, a friction in their current environment that is trying to sabotage this beautiful awakening. There is someone or something in their periphery that is trying to keep them distracted, trying to feed their ego, or trying to create a misunderstanding between you two before they even get the chance to explain themselves. And this outside interference is about to make things a lot more complicated than just a simple apology. But just as the universe aligns for this profound reunion, just as this person is gathering the courage to step forward and claim you, we have to talk about the friction. Because in every deep karmic connection, right before the breakthrough, there is always a test. And what I am picking up on right now is a very specific, disruptive outside energy that is trying to sabotage this moment. This is the complication. This is the shadow that has been lingering at the edges of your situation. And if you have felt a sudden, unexplained shift in their energy, recently a moment where they seem to pull back right when things were getting good, this is exactly why. Here's the thing about this outside interference. It doesn't always look like a blatant, full-blown new relationship. For some of you, this is third-party energy that is more about distraction and ego than actual love. This could be an old flame who has suddenly reappeared, smelling the vulnerability in the air and trying to swoop inches or, more commonly, this is a toxic friend, family member, or a social circle that does not have your best interests at heart. These are the whisperers. These are the people who look at this person's journey toward healing and say, why are you going back to them? You're better off alone. Don't let them control you. They feed this person's pride. They validate their avoidant tendencies. They create a loud, chaotic echo chamber that makes this person doubt their own intuition. And Libra, I need you to listen to me very closely right now. You have felt this. Your intuition is razor sharp, and you have absolutely sensed this interference. You might have noticed them acting strangely defensive, or you might have seen subtle signs on social media that didn't add up. You felt a sudden drop in the energetic frequency between you two, a moment where the clarity we just talked about seemed to get clouded by confusion and mixed signals. Do not let that make you doubt yourself. Do not let that make you think you imagine the connection. What you felt was real. The interference is real. But here is the beautiful, empowering truth. This outside noise is not stronger than your soul tie. In fact, it is acting as the ultimate catalyst. Because here is the emotional turn that this person is currently experiencing. The outside energy is completely backfiring. They are being forced to compare the loud, superficial, demanding energy of this outside interference with the deep, peaceful, harmonious energy that you bring to their life. And the contrast is blinding. When they are with these other people, or engaging with this distracting energy, they feel drained. They feel misunderstood. They feel like they have to wear a mask. But the second they think of you, they feel a sense of coming home. The interference is actually highlighting exactly what they lost. It is holding up a mirror to the emptiness of their current environment, making them realize that no amount of external validation, can replace the profound spiritual peace they felt when they were aligned with you. This person is now fighting a war on two fronts. On the outside, they are having to set boundaries with the people who are trying to keep them stuck in old, toxic patterns. They are realizing that their social circle, or this lingering third party dynamic, does not actually care about their happiness. They just want to keep this person available, distracted, and exactly where they are. And on the inside, this person is battling their own lingering shame. They are thinking, if I go back to them now, after all this time, after all the noise, will they even believe me? Will they think I'm just playing games again? The fear of being rejected by you, the fear that you have finally seen through them and closed the door for good is paralyzing them. But the universe is not done applying the pressure. For some of you, there is going to be a sudden dramatic exposure of this interference. The truth is going to come out. Maybe this person will accidentally let something slip, or maybe the third party will overplay their hand and reveal their true manipulative intentions. When this happens, it will be the final straw for this person. It will be the moment the illusion completely shatters. They will see the outside energy for exactly what it is: distraction designed to keep them from their highest good. And in that moment of absolute clarity, their loyalty will snap entirely back to you. They are realizing that protecting their connection with you is more important than protecting their image, their pride, or the opinions of people who don't truly know them. They are preparing to cut the cord with this outside interference. They are getting ready to choose the quiet, authentic truth of your love over the loud, chaotic lies of their current environment. But making that choice requires a massive leap of faith, and it requires them to face you with nothing but raw, unfiltered honesty. The tension is at its absolute peak. The old patterns are dead, the outside distractions are being exposed, and this person is standing on the precipice of the most important decision of their life. The silence is about to break, and what happens next will change the entire trajectory of this connection. Libra, the silence is finally about to break, and the timing of this is deeply tied to this August energy. The universe has been pressing the pause button, forcing both of you to sit in the discomfort of your own choices, but the pause is ending. What I'm picking up on is a sudden, undeniable surge of forward momentum. This person can no longer contain the energy. The obsession, the regret, the karmic pressure, it has all reached a boiling point. For some of you, this breakthrough is going to come in the form of a message that completely shatters your expectations. This is not going to be a casual hey or a late night, ego-driven text asking for a breadcrumb of your attention. This is going to be a profound, heavy, emotionally charged confession. When this communication finally arrives, you are going to feel it in your gut before you even see it. The energy will shift in the room. And when you read their words, or when you hear their voice, the emotional turn that hits you will be staggering. You will realize just how completely broken their pride has become. They are going to admit everything. They are going to tell you that they were wrong, that they were terrified, and that walking away from you was the biggest mistake of their life. They are going to lay their cards on the table, exposing their vulnerabilities, their fears, and their deep, aching regret for the pain they caused you in the past. It feels like they are handing you their heart on a silver platter, completely defenseless, begging for just a fraction of the grace you used to give them so freely. But here is where the dynamic permanently flips, and this is the most crucial part of this reading for you to understand. As a Libra, your natural instinct is to restore harmony. When someone comes to you with a bleeding heart and a sincere apology, your first instinct is to heal them, to smooth things over, to bring the balance back. But here's the thing: you cannot rush this reconciliation. You cannot hand over your power just because they finally decided to show up. The question is, are you going to accept this apology, or are you going to make them earn their way back into your life? Because the truth is, they are going to chase you now, but you are the one who holds the keys to the kingdom. This person is stepping into their role as the pursuer, and you are stepping into your role as the prize. You need to stay grounded. You need to protect your energy. Do not let their sudden urgency make you forget the months of silence, the confusion, and the hurt. Let them do the work. Let them prove that this awakening is real. If they truly regret hurting you, they will not be deterred by your boundaries. In fact, your boundaries will be the very thing that proves to them that you have evolved. They will see that you are no longer the person who accepted the bare minimum, and that realization will only fuel their obsession and their respect for you. For some of you, this person may even show up in person. They might drive to your city, or they will find a way to be in the same physical space as you, just to look into your eyes and deliver this confession face to face. The karmic exposure of the outside interference will be fully complete by this point. They will have cut off the toxic distractions, they will have silenced the gossip, and they will be standing before you with absolute clarity. They are choosing you. Out of everyone, out of all the easy options, they are choosing the deep, challenging, beautiful soul tie that you share. But remember, my beautiful Libra, this outcome is imminent, but it is not fully settled until you decide it is. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to force the outcome or try to control how this reunion unfolds. Your only job right now is to stay in your feminine receptive energy. Stay centered, keep your focus on your own glow up, your own peace, and your own spiritual alignment. When you do that, you become an irresistible magnet. They will feel that magnetic pull from miles away, and it will drag them right back to your doorstep. As we close out this reading, I want you to take a deep breath and release any anxiety you've been holding onto about this connection. The universe has heard your prayers, it has seen your tears, and it is now orchestrating the divine timing for this person to return and make things right. The past is being cleared, the karma is being balanced, and a new chapter is waiting to be written, but this time, it will be written on your terms. Please remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. Your intuition is your ultimate guide, and it will tell you exactly how to handle this energy when it arrives. Thank you so much for watching, for trusting me with your energy, and for being here. I love you, I appreciate you, and I am sending you so much light and beautiful, harmonious love for this August and beyond. Stay blessed, stay powerful, and I will see you in the next reading.